The Indonesian human rights lawyer, who is wanted in her own home country for speaking about West Papua, has broken her silence since Indonesian authorities issued a warrant for her arrest. Veronica Coleman has spoken exclusively to SBS News and says West Papua is going through its darkest time in 20 years with an unprecedented military crackdown. The 31-year-old has vowed to continue exposing what's happening in the troubled Indonesian provinces, despite receiving daily death and rape threats in an effort to silence her.
Veronica Coleman is being hunted by the authorities in her homeland. Her patriotism runs deep. Indonesia is even tattooed on her arm. But in 2014, she was forced to question her country's actions.
The Paniai killings, where school children were shot and died instantly, and then dozens others injured. And I thought at that time, I was already a public interest lawyer, I thought at that time, wow, why there's no outrage? School children are killed by security forces.
Ever since, she has become the target of vicious threats for publishing videos like this one, documenting alleged human rights abuses carried out against Papuans. Many of the most confronting videos involve Indonesian security forces. At times, officers appear to operate alongside armed civilian militia groups. In recent weeks, Ms Coleman's family home in Jakarta has been raided. She's been placed on a wanted list, even threatened with an Interpol red notice.
They're trying to kill the messenger. They cannot refute my data, all the footage, they cannot refute that, so they are trying to destroy my credibility.
At least 33 people were killed in the central town of Wamena. Footage shows Indonesian forces opening fire after Papuan high school students had held an anti-racism rally.
I could count more than 100 gunshots in 2 minutes.
Ms Coleman says the violence only made Indonesian headlines when the government declared Indonesians, not Papuans, made up the majority of the death toll. Most victims were reportedly killed in fires, President Widodo blaming an armed criminal group.
When Papuans are killed, like silence. But when non-Papuans are killed in West Papua, suddenly it's like across Indonesia.
More than 6,000 soldiers have been deployed to the region in the past 6 weeks to stop independence rallies and anti-racism demonstrations. Ms Coleman says at least 100 West Papuans have been jailed, some charged with treason for simply holding the West Papuan flag.
I think there's a unprecedented crackdown on people who speak about West Papua.
Tens of thousands have joined the uprising, and it's being quelled with lethal force, led by a former military chief with a fearsome record.
General Wiranto, who was indicted by UN tribunal of committing crimes against humanity in East Timor, he's now in charge of West Papua.
There are restrictions on foreign media, which Ms Coleman says means that when violence erupts, Indonesians only receive the government side of the story. Australia has urged restraint on both sides.
The minimum the Australian government should do for West Papua is to demand access, to demand international media access to West Papua, and also the UN Human Rights Office visit.
Ms Coleman says she can now not go back home to Indonesia, but she says no matter what, she will not stop speaking about West Papua. Virginia Langeberg, SBS World News.